Absolutely, let's talk knives. So for beginner cooks and not beginner cooks all around, I think there are 3 essential knives that just are the basics. You really don't need more than them. The 3 knives are a chef's knife, a serrated knife, and a paring knife. And there's all kinds of other knives out there. You don't need them. These are the 3. All right, so first, the chef's knife. The chef's knife is the big kahuna. It's the all-purpose big guy that you're gonna use for most things. And you may have heard that there are really 2 basic kinds of chef's knives and other knives, but particularly this pertains to chef's knives, which are German and Japanese chef's knives. And there's a lot of differences between the 2, but the main thing that's the most important to know is that a Japanese knife is much more delicate than a German knife. So this is my chef knife that is a German knife. It's Wüsthof. I got it in culinary school, and it's extremely hardy, it's heavy, it feels really nice in your hand, and it's very easy to use. Whereas this one is a Japanese one. It's much lighter, the blade is much thinner, and it's quite delicate. So the reason that a more delicate knife would be useful is in the case of slicing something like tuna or something really delicate that doesn't take well to a more robust cut. So really a German knife is the best way to go for a beginner. And I do love the Wüsthof knives. Again, this sort of came with my culinary school program, so I'm not entirely sure how much these knives are, but I know that they are not cheap. So my recommendation would be to go to Target and get yourself like a Cuisinart knife, learn how to use it, understand, you know, how to hold it and you know, all those things, and then look into investing in a bigger one. I think a chef's knife is worth investing in because it is something that you will buy over and over and over again if you go the cheap route. And if you invest in something that's like really high quality and great, you're gonna buy it literally one time in your life and use it forever. And these 2 knives, my chef's knives, are both 9 inches, which I know can be kind of intimidating. A lot of my friends always tell me that like it's so big when you hold it and like they're afraid that they're gonna cut themselves. So I also have this 6-inch one that I really like. You know, for sort of bigger tasks, it's not the best, but for just chopping vegetables and things like that, it's really great. So don't feel like you have to, on your first knife, go get like some huge gigantic knife. You can get a higher quality knife that's smaller while you get comfortable. And I also have this Cutco one that is like super, super durable. And when I have friends coming over to help cook and stuff, I always let them use this one because it's just really easy to use and durable. Then I have this one that is a Japanese knife. It's extremely light and it's really reserved for like slicing delicate fish, herbs, like anything that just needs a really soft, gentle cut. This is what I use it for. And the most important thing about your chef's knife is that it has to stay sharp. I know it seems counterintuitive to think that a really sharp knife means more safe in the kitchen, but that is exactly the case. Just think about it. If this was not sharp and you were wielding it around, it can flail around the cutting board. You need it to be really, really sharp to just give you a nice, precise cut. So I really recommend getting them professionally sharpened regularly or investing in a sharpening kit of your own. But this knife needs to stay sharp. Second category of knife is a serrated knife. It's very self-explanatory, this guy, and it has these little edges you can see. So that is perfect for cutting basically bread and tomatoes. That's kind of all I ever use it for. I do have a serrated paring knife that I use for little cherry tomatoes, but you really don't need it. This big one gets the whole thing done, and that's really all you use it for. So, but it's very important. And then the third category are paring knives. So this is my very fancy paring knife, which is also German, that I got in culinary school. It's lovely, it's nice and heavy. I really like it, but these from Victorinox, they're $8. They get the job done. I use these all the time, and honestly, I had to dig in my drawer for this one. Like, I really never use it. I like the cheap stuff when it comes to the paring knives, but they're super, super sharp, even though they're $8. And then I don't know if any of you, like me, have an Italian mom who like wields at fruit and vegetables holding the blade of a knife. You know the specific like brand of woman that I'm talking about? This is what my mom uses for a paring knife. She uses it to like peel apples, peel potatoes, all kinds of stuff, and she holds it like this and wields it around as if it couldn't cut you, you know? So I have this one around in the name of my mother. And I know I said that there are really only 3 main categories, and I did mean that, but I do have a couple fun ones that I really love to use. I am a professional cook, so these maybe aren't for beginners or people who don't cook a lot, but I love them so much. So first is this one from New West Knife Works that I got in Wyoming. I'm so obsessed with it. It makes me feel like I'm going on like a hunting trip and I'm gonna like skin moose or something, which I'm not gonna do. But I just use this for garlic or some fun things. It's nice and small. I use it at work a lot because it fits right in my bag. And I love it. And the second one is this mezzaluna, which I literally only use for chopping up herbs really fine. Mezzaluna means half moon in Italian. Again, was this a sound purchase? Did I need it? No, but this is, you know, this is what I shop for. This is what I live for, are these kitchen things. So this was a really fun one that I love using. And another thing that I feel like is not done enough in home kitchens is using knife sleeves. So knives are really sharp and we want to keep them that way and stay safe. So I always have a little sleeve and very carefully you just keep your knife in them. I even have one for my little paring knife, and it just makes sure that you don't cut yourself in your drawer and your knives don't hit anything, especially these Japanese knives. They chip pretty easily because they're really thin. So I keep a very robust wood covering on this one. So they're on Amazon, they're cheap, and they'll protect you and your knives. So let me know if you have any other questions. I think this really covers the basics. Knives are the most important tool that you have in the kitchen. So it's really important to understand them and be comfortable with them. Most importantly, use what makes you feel comfortable and what makes you feel confident, because that is both the safest and most effective knife. You know, you want to be confident, you want to be comfy. You got this. Enjoy.